The sound was faint, but to Alina, it was louder than thunder. A sharp snap, like a firecracker, echoed in her mind as her necklace broke apart in her hands. Silver beads spilled onto the polished school hallway floor, scattering like shattered pieces of her heart. The small pendant, a delicate silver rose, the last gift from her late grandmother, rolled beneath a row of lockers. For a moment, Alina couldn't breathe. Her fingers trembled as she dropped to her knees, trying to gather the beads before anyone stepped on them. Behind her, cruel laughter erupted. Not the kind of laugh that lightens a moment, but the kind meant to wound. "Oh no," Carla mocked, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. "Was that important?" Alina didn't respond. She focused on the floor, trying to hide the tears that threatened to spill. It wasn't the first time Carla and her crew had picked on her. But this time, it felt like something sacred had been broken. The necklace wasn't just jewelry. It was a memory. A promise. The only thing her grandmother left her before passing away. Each bead she picked up felt like reclaiming a tiny piece of herself. Still, the laughter behind her didn't stop. Carla, with her perfectly styled hair and ever-present smirk, nudged another bead with her boot, sending it clinking across the hallway. "Oops," she said flatly. Her friends, Kayla and Marcy, giggled like backup dancers in a cruel performance. Alina clutched the pendant in her hand and stood slowly, not saying a word. She knew if she spoke now, her voice would crack. And she refused to give them that satisfaction. For the rest of the day, she kept her head down. Her teachers noticed something was off, but didn't say anything. She didn't eat lunch. She didn't speak. But beneath the silence, something began to shift inside her, not rage, but resolve. Alina had always been quiet. Thoughtful. She preferred books over parties, and the library over the cafeteria. She didn't dress like the others. Vintage jackets, hand-me-down boots, and her ever-present silver necklace until now were her armor. That uniqueness made her a target. And Carla, with her cruel charisma, had zeroed in on her from the start of the school year. At first it was whispers, then jokes. But it had evolved into shoves, slaps to the back of the head, and now, this. What Carla didn't know, what no one at school knew, was that Alina spent every weekend in a dusty dojo on the outskirts of town. Her mom had signed her up for martial arts classes after her dad died, hoping it would help her cope with the loss. And it had. The discipline. The focus. The mental strength. At 16, Alina had a brown belt in Taekwondo. Not many people knew because she didn't advertise it. Her sensei had always taught her, true strength doesn't scream. It speaks quietly, through calm control and inner peace. But even a river can turn into a flood when too many stones try to dam it. That night, Alina sat cross-legged on the floor of her small bedroom. Her mom worked late shifts, so it was quiet. The broken necklace lay in front of her, the beads aligned carefully. She threaded them again, each one a reminder of her grandmother's words. "Kindness isn't weakness," she had once said. But it doesn't mean letting people walk over you, either. Alina nodded to herself in the dark. She wasn't going to hurt anyone. But she wasn't going to take it anymore. The next day at school, Carla strutted through the hallway with her usual arrogance. Marcy was recapping something they saw on TikTok, and Kayla was fake laughing like always. Alina walked past them without flinching. Her hair was tied back. Her expression unreadable. She had nothing to prove, but if they pushed her again, she was ready. Lunchtime came quickly. The cafeteria was loud, chaotic as usual. Alina sat alone at her table in the corner, eating her sandwich in silence. It didn't take long before she saw Carla approaching with her two sidekicks, walking like they were the stars of a reality show. Well, Carla said, looking down at her. "Necklace girl is back." Alina looked up. "It was from someone who actually cared about me. You probably don't know what that feels like." The words weren't shouted. They weren't even laced with venom. They were just true. Carla's eyes narrowed. "You think you're tough now?" she asked. "You think you can talk to me like that?" She stepped closer and, with a sudden flick of her hand, knocked Alina's lunch tray off the table. It hit the floor with a loud clatter, food spreading everywhere. The entire cafeteria went quiet. Alina stood up. It wasn't dramatic. She didn't slam her chair. She didn't yell. She simply rose, slowly, calmly. And when Carla moved forward again, intending to shove her, something changed. In one smooth motion, Alina caught Carla's wrist mid-shove, twisted lightly, and redirected her momentum. Carla stumbled sideways, nearly losing her balance. Her smug expression was gone, replaced with confusion. What the? Carla lunged again. But this time, Alina moved with precision. She turned, dropped low, and swept Carla's legs with a clean spin that sent her tumbling to the cafeteria floor with a gasp. Silence. Then gasps. Then, cheers. No one had ever stood up to Carla. No one had dared. But now she lay on the floor, stunned, her pride bruised more than her body. Alina didn't smirk. She didn't gloat. She just stood straight, looked down at her, and said, "If you try to hurt me again, I won't just defend myself. I'll report you. And next time, I won't be so gentle." A teacher finally rushed in, too late to stop anything, but just in time to witness Carla scrambling up, red-faced and furious. Students nearby confirmed what they saw. Alina hadn't attacked, she defended herself. That afternoon, Carla and her friends were pulled into the principal's office. With enough complaints and video evidence from students, Carla was suspended for 2 weeks. Her friends followed shortly after. Alina was called in too. But instead of punishment, she received a warning and, surprisingly, a quiet well done from the assistant principal. Word spread like wildfire. The quiet girl who never spoke back had stood her ground. And she hadn't just fought back, she dismantled the myth of Carla's invincibility with calm, focused strength. Students began to smile at Alina in the halls. Some even approached her to ask about martial arts. Others admitted they had been bullied too, but had never found the courage to say something. Alina didn't change overnight. She still loved her books. She still kept to herself. But now, she walked a little taller. She didn't dread school. And that quiet, trembling girl who picked up her beads off the hallway floor? She was still inside, but now she had armor. A week later, she found a small envelope inside her locker. No name. Just a simple note on recycled paper, for the girl who fought with honor. Inside was a new chain, threaded with her original pendant, polished and clean. It had been repaired with care. She held it to her chest, eyes misty. Sensei. It had to be. At her next class, she bowed deeply to him, and he returned it with pride in his eyes. Strength, he said softly, is choosing peace even when war is easier. To this day, Alina wears her necklace not just as a memory of her grandmother, but as a symbol of who she became when the world tried to break her. If you've ever been laughed at, pushed down, or made to feel invisible, remember this: strength doesn't always look like shouting. Sometimes, it's quiet. Sometimes, it's patient. And sometimes, it rises when you least expect it, changing everything.